It is no secret that history shapes our perception of great figures from the past, granting them an almost legendary status, while often overlooking the more human, everyday aspects of their lives. What usually remains in the shadow of spectacular deeds and groundbreaking decisions are health issues, diseases and ailments that may have had a crucial impact on their way of thinking, character, and actions. Both physical and mental conditions often played a significant role in shaping the fate of individuals and, consequently, entire historical epochs. One of the most intriguing figures, surrounded by numerous mysteries, is Vlad III Tepes, better known as Count Dracula. The ruler of Wallachia continues to evoke extreme emotions. Some see him as a just, yet harsh leader, while others perceive him as a ruthless tyrant whose cruelty knew no bounds. His legend, intertwining facts with myths, has inspired vampire tales and continues to fascinate historians and researchers. But could his brutality be linked to previously unknown medical conditions? Did he suffer from illnesses that influenced his psyche, political decisions, and even methods of warfare? What secrets does the history of his health conceal, and could they have shaped one of the darkest figures of medieval Europe? Research methods that never cease to surprise have opened entirely new possibilities for scientists in understanding historical figures. Thanks to modern technologies, we can examine old documents from a completely different perspective, uncovering information that was previously beyond our reach. It might seem that ancient letters are merely a collection of written words, a testimony to thoughts, decisions, and events from the past. However, it turns out that they contain much more than we ever imagined. The advancement of interdisciplinary research has allowed for the use of innovative analytical methods that reveal hidden biological traces. Anyone who has ever written a letter has left behind not only ink on paper, but also invisible traces of sweat, fragments of skin, and even microscopic amounts of saliva. Today, thanks to scientific achievements, we can study these remnants to gain valuable insights into the author's health, habits, and even the emotions they experienced while writing. Such discoveries open up entirely new possibilities for historians. Through precise analyses, it becomes possible to identify diseases that may have influenced thought processes and decision-making, while also offering a better understanding of the daily lives of historical figures known so far only through official records. This groundbreaking approach not only expands our knowledge of the past, but also allows us to see well-known historical figures in an entirely new light. These discoveries shed new light on the figure of Dracula, revealing him not only as a bloodthirsty tyrant, but also as a man struggling with serious health issues. Traditional historical narratives focus primarily on his brutality and controversial methods of governance, often overlooking the role that his health may have played in shaping his personality and decisions. One possible condition that could have affected his life was ciliopathy, a rare genetic disorder that disrupts the function of cellular cilia. This disease may have significantly influenced his perception of the world, reactions to stimuli, and interactions with those around him. If he indeed suffered from this condition, he may have experienced chronic sensory disturbances, health problems, and even neurological disorders that shaped his way of thinking and acting. This raises an intriguing question. To what extent was his style of rule a consequence of his illness, and to what extent was it a deliberate political strategy to maintain power in turbulent times? Furthermore, if Vlad III suffered from inflammatory diseases causing chronic pain and debilitating suffering, his personality could have undergone significant changes. A person living in constant physical discomfort may exhibit increased irritability, a tendency toward violent reactions, and diminished empathy for others. This perspective allows us to see Dracula as a far more complex and multidimensional figure, not just a ruthless ruler, but also a man engaged in a constant struggle not only for his throne, but also for his own health and survival in the brutal world of medieval Europe. However, the most sensational revelation that could completely change our perception of this historical figure is the suggestion that Count Dracula may have suffered from hemolacria, a rare condition that causes bleeding from the eyes. The vision of red tears streaming down his face is not only dramatic, but also highly symbolic, evoking images of horror and supernatural phenomena. In the Middle Ages, when any unusual ailment could inspire fear and lead to fantastical interpretations, such a condition could have made Vlad III the subject of terror and mysterious tales, which over time evolved into legend. If he truly suffered from hemolacria, his image may have intensified fear among both his subjects and enemies. The sight of a ruler with blood seeping from his eyes must have evoked extreme emotions, ranging from terror to mystical reverence. In an era when illnesses were often explained as the work of supernatural forces, such a phenomenon could have been perceived as a sign of divine punishment, a curse, or even proof of his inhuman nature. These extraordinary details may have been the seed from which folklore and myths grew, portraying Vlad III as a being suspended between the world of the living and the realm of darkness. It is impossible to overlook how perfectly this condition aligns with the classic image of a vampire, an entity that feeds on blood, possesses a hypnotic gaze, and exhibits supernatural abilities. Perhaps it was a real medical condition that laid the foundation for later tales of his immortality and bloodthirsty nature. But could a single medical case have given rise to one of history's most recognizable legends? Or was hemolacria just one piece of a larger puzzle, woven together with other aspects of his life, reign, and extraordinary personality? The mystery of Dracula continues to intrigue, prompting further research and the search for answers that could redefine our understanding of this dark yet fascinating figure. Dr. Maria Rossi emphasizes the importance of understanding both the historical context and the everyday life of figures like Dracula. Vlad III Tsepesh, long portrayed as a ruthless tyrant and an inspiration for dark legends, now emerges, through modern research, as a far more complex character. Historians and scholars increasingly focus on his human side, a man grappling with real struggles, fears, and possibly even illnesses that may have influenced his decisions and style of governance. Through such analyses, we begin to see that figures long shrouded in mythology were not merely heroes or villains, but above all, human beings, with emotions, concerns, and limitations imposed by their health and the realities of their time. History often simplifies and idealizes its figures, pushing their weaknesses and personal dramas to the margins. Yet every ruler, even the most famous and controversial, was part of a complex web of political intrigue, power struggles, and daily realities that they had to navigate. Dr. Rossi emphasizes that uncovering these more intimate aspects not only helps us better understand the past, but also reveals how often certain mechanisms of power, fear, and legend repeat throughout human history. Every myth has its roots in reality, and today, science provides us with the tools to separate fact from fiction, allowing us to view historical figures in a fuller, more human, and multidimensional way. When we think of great figures from the past, we often see them as powerful rulers, ruthless strategists, or legendary heroes. Rarely do we consider their human side, the fact that they too struggled with illnesses, fears, and personal demons. The story of Count Dracula is a perfect example of this complexity. For centuries, he has been shrouded in mystery and horror, his image elevated to the status of a dark myth. However, the latest scientific discoveries offer an entirely new perspective, revealing facts that could reshape our previous understanding. Thanks to modern research methods, we can not only analyze Vlad III's political and military achievements, but also examine his health and psychological condition, factors that may have profoundly influenced his character and style of governance. If he indeed suffered from chronic ailments or neurological disorders, his severity, relentlessness, and ruthlessness may have stemmed not only from the brutal realities of his time, but also from his own struggles with pain and physical limitations. These discoveries highlight how much we still do not know about the figures who shaped history, Every new analysis, every uncovered clue, allows us to see them not merely as textbook figures, but as individuals wrestling with fate, personal weaknesses, and challenges that often remained hidden behind great historical events. The mysteries of the human mind and body continue to await discovery, and the history we thought we knew so well may at any moment reveal a new, fascinating dimension. If you found this content interesting, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next episodes.